You've heard Billie Eilish's song about it. Now get ready to meet WASP 33b, an exoplanet so hot that it rains diamonds bigger than grizzly bears. Let's imagine what it would be like to stand on its surface. It's not easy being a small terrestrial planet. If you're WASP 33b, that is. For starters, you're orbiting a star that's nearly twice as massive as our Sun, which means it's got a powerful gravitational pull. And since you're so close to it, you feel the full force of its gravity. That's why your year is only 11 days long. Imagine the tidal forces that must be at play. But it gets worse. You're also 8 times larger than Earth, which means your gravity is much stronger than ours. So if you were to step on WASP 33b, you'd be utterly crushed by its gravity. But that's not the worst of it. Because of its proximity to its star, WASP 33b has an average surface temperature of 1800 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt almost anything. In fact, scientists think the only thing that can exist on this planet's surface are tiny diamond crystals. And because the gravitational pull is so strong, they grow to enormous sizes. We're talking millions of carats. It might be tempting to stay under WASP 33b's thick clouds to escape the heat, but that's no better. The swings in temperature between the upper atmosphere and the lower atmosphere are so extreme that there are violent storms that rage across the planet. They can reach 18,000 kilometers per hour. A storm here would swallow 10 Earths whole. Now, you may be asking yourself, if these storms are so powerful, why doesn't WASP 33b just fly away? To which I can only respond, have you seen the size of its star? It's over 2,000 light-years away from us. Its star is so massive that it pulls WASP 33b into a tight orbit every year. And if that weren't enough, WASP 33b has another trick up its sleeve, or should I say atmosphere. It's incredibly dense, more than twice the density of Jupiter. That means there's something very heavy in its core. Scientists think it could be a metal like iron or nickel. And just to make things even more unbearable, there's no oxygen on this planet. So, if you tried to take a deep breath, you'd suffocate. Let's hope you never find yourself on WASP 33b anytime soon. But if you do, be sure to stay far, far away from the surface. Speaking of hot places, how does 1100 degrees Celsius sound? Probably too hot to touch. Well, that's just the average temperature on HD 1897333b. This gas giant is located 63 light-years away from us, and it's the perfect example of a hot Jupiter. That means it's a gas giant like Jupiter that orbits very close to its star, which is similar to our Sun. HD 1897333b's year is 22 days long, which is why it's so hot. And don't forget, this planet has no solid surface. It's entirely made of gas. That means you'll never be able to stand on it. And we haven't even mentioned the most dangerous part yet. HD 1897333b has a very thick atmosphere, which makes it look like a stormy sea. But instead of water, it's made of hydrogen and helium. And if that doesn't bother you, the intense UV radiation from its star will. It's so strong that it creates a protective ozone layer in HD 1897333b's atmosphere, which is also responsible for the beautiful blue color. Maybe you can still see through the thick clouds and raging storms to catch a glimpse of the incredible aurora. It's so wide that it covers the entire planet, and it's 3 times brighter than the aurora we see on Earth. But let's face it, it's probably better to stay away from HD 1897333b unless you want to be blown away by its winds that reach 18,000 kilometers per hour. Let's take a break from these scorching hot planets and talk about something a little different. How about a place where it rains so much that it never stops? Meet M55, a white dwarf located 200 light-years away from us. It's the size of our Sun, but it's 10 times heavier. M55 is the remnant of a star that exploded as a supernova. And now it has an extremely powerful magnetic field. That's why it attracts so much gas from its neighbor, a red dwarf. To make things even more extreme, M55 has a powerful wind that blows all the gas it sucks in back out into space. And that's where the rain comes in. The gas forms thick, creamy clouds that eventually become so heavy that they fall to the ground in the form of a never-ending downpour. If that sounds like your kind of weather, then you'll love M55. Just one problem, though. You won't survive more than a few seconds in this hellish rain. That's because the temperature on M55 is around 10,000 degrees Celsius. And let's not forget about the size of its raindrops. They're not the size of grizzly bears like the diamonds on WASP-33b. No, they're much bigger. On M55, the raindrops are the size of houses. That's why scientists call it the planet where it rains supercells. I hope you enjoyed our journey to the most dangerous planets ever discovered. Now it's time to leave this solar system and travel to another world. See you next time.